Captain America starting off, you're now able to shield in the middle of jump as you're falling around. Living Legends, you're able to use it. Not only that, his E now goes further, does more damage, and is a little faster. And his ultimate has been reduced from 3100 to 2800 required. So the energy cost has been significantly reduced. It's just nice and simple. His health has changed from 650 to 600. Brute Thorn Walls, you can now place them literally just 3 meters further. Used to be 15 meters. Magneto's changes are his Iron Volley has just got a slight increase of damage from 35 to 40. We're looking at Magneto's Magnetic Curtain as well. So Metallic Curtain's energy consumption has been increased from 50 a second to 65 a second. Thor's changes, he no longer has the share cooldown after he uses the Awakening Rune. So now Thor's F does not consume a cooldown. Like if you use E, it has a share cooldown, shift, share cooldown, right? However, his F doesn't do it anymore. So you can see down the bottom right when I press F, it doesn't share the cooldown now. So you're able to basically use it fluently. For Venom, you have his F, or Frenzied Arrival, sorry, is now more knockback on a 75-degree angle when you land it. Try that again, that was a shocking explanation. And then we're on to Venom. We have his F, his Diving Strike, that on a 75-degree angle now does a bigger knockback. And his ultimate has been reduced from 2800 to 2500 energy cost. And that's it for all the Vanguards. Onto the Duelists. Our first Duelist change is Black Widow. Ammo increase from 8 shots to 15 now before you have to reload properly. Also, her ultimate. So, Black Widow's ultimate has been changed a little bit. So, when you use her ulti, obviously, you got the plasma charge, and it would slow the enemies by 80% initially, but they've reduced that down to 55%, and now you'll notice they have a 15% vulnerability on them for 4 seconds, so you're really able to help clean up more team fights, but be less impactful, and it takes away from the combo with Hawkeye, but not all that much. Only a little. Over to Hawkeye. Hawkeye's base health has been increased from 250 to 275. His blast arrow's damage has been reduced as well. So his blast damage used to be 20, it's just been reduced down to 15. Its initial damage of the blast arrow has been dropped from 20 to 15. However, the explosion radius has been increased from 25 to 32. The cooldown time of his Crescent Slash has been reduced from 20 seconds over to 15 seconds. So it only looks like 12 when you start the cooldown, but that's because it takes 3 seconds for the animation to go, and it begins cooldown as his animation starts. So I'll show it one more time. As you go like that, see 3 seconds, then the 12-second cooldown starts. So it is 15 seconds, but it'll only show 12. Also, his bow draw speed has just been increased. So you can see how much faster it charges. It's a lot easier. And over to the last hit scan is Hela. Damage fall off for Hela is now at 30 meters. The damage fall off begins a little bit more, but as you can see, you're still able to kill people fairly good if you're just able to get the head clicks. For Iron Fist, his damage has now been changed from just a flat rate to now percentage based. So obviously you do less damage on squishies. Still impressive amounts of damage. So as you can see, yeah. See his health takes a significant amount more damage, and with just one right click, you almost melt the tank down. Nice and quick. Even against like a Mega Hulk, even without right clicking, you're able to melt straight through them with like barely anything. He's been extremely buff. His E now is 150 overshield, so he'll heal 150 health over that course, but if you overshield it, it obviously decays, but 150 opposed to 50 extra, so that's a massive improvement. Allows you to get on that backline a lot better. His maximum block as well has been increased. Yeah, so his block has been increased from 150 damage block to a 200 shield at max, which is pretty big, and his base health has obviously been increased from 250 to 300. So you should be seeing a lot more Iron Fists when you're in Diamond Celestial, but and you'll see them obviously giving the tanks a run for their money rather than just sitting on the back lines. They're almost like a Wolverine in aspect. now. Iron Man. So Iron Man's Unibeam's damage has been increased from 120 a second to 140 a second, just base. Obviously that's increased again if you have Gamma. The Unibeam in the Armor Overdrive has been increased from, which is press E. The Unibeam has been increased from 180 to 190. So not a massive difference there, but enough to be noticeable. And I'll tell you something, I played it a little bit earlier. You feel the full watch. Over to Magic. Okay, Magic, her damage has been decreased from 80 a second to 72 a second from Little Demon's Rage. So it's not a massive thing. You're not going to see a huge impact in your gameplay through that. They've reduced the cost of her Dark Child. I believe it's been lowered by 300 energy cost, so it went down 3,700 to 30. So for Mr. Fantastic, his the spell radius on his flexible elongation has been made, so that's his E. It's been made a little bit bigger. Also, he has a knockback that is being applied to that. And we have a change in his Brainiac bounce as well. The cost has been reduced from another 300, I think it was 3,700 down to 3,400. And his damage has been slightly increased on it. And it has a damage decay system now. So the initial burst doesn't do more damage. However, every subsequent bounce after it now, instead of doing 50, does 70. And he has a decay system now when you bounce. If I start it here and I bounce over there, you are looking at a damage decay of up to 50 because 10 meters is pretty much the max you can go, and that is the max of the damage reduction. We have minor changes to Moon Knight, just balancing around his ulti basically. So with his ultimate, you will see it slow in the rate that they will initially drop at. It's a little delay. I think it's about a 1 second delay now. See? And then the fists start falling. Also, the Fists of Khonshu, they do, instead of 75, they now do 150 base damage with the explosion around them as well. So he's a little bit more deadly if you can get a Groot ult off, but if you're not really looking at something to lock him down, he is a little bit more vulnerable to people avoiding the ult. So Scarlet Witch, she just gains in the bonus health on activating her Reality Erasure, which is her ultimate. So she gains 100 bonus health when she presses her ulti. And after the ability ends or is interrupted, she has the DK rate of 50 a second. So your extra 100 health, little shield you get, that'll be gone if you haven't already been shot out of the sky. So Spider-Man has got basically just a little movement buff. His web cluster's energized time has been dropped from 3 seconds to 2.5. So when you were going in for a kill and you would try and drop him into it, you'd always be stuck sometimes with missing 1 or 2 extra web clusters as a finisher. Now you shouldn't be running into that issue, as it's been reduced by literally half a second, which is kind of huge, especially in a dive heavy. Very, very good Spider-Man, especially if you're a cracked out Spider-Man. Star-Lord's nice and easy, so his shift has just been increased from the duration from 1200 to 1800. The maximum energy. Over to Storm. So Storm's damage fall off of her wind blade has been changed from to 30 meters from 70% to 60%. So a little bit less damage fall off. So she does more damage if she sits back a little bit more. Not much, just about 10%. Nothing has changed with Storm's shift on her speed boost. However, if we go to her Thunder boost, all allies will now get, instead of 8%, 10% increased damage while in it, but she does do from 16 to 12% damage with the ticks. So a little bit of a trade-off, more team-based. Over to Strategist, Adam Warlock. So with Adam Warlock, is the damage of Quantum Magic, which is his auto attack, has been increased from 55 to 60. So he was already doing a bunch of damage if you could land all your right clicks, you were dropping people, but now that left click really has a little extra oomph in it, and it does, you can feel it, it's really good. Additionally, his damage fall off used to be 40 meters. It's used to drop, I think, 50%. It's now dropping off at 60%. So sit back a little bit more, and you'll still be. Also, his heals have been increased within the soul bond. So when he soul bonds, he does an additional 15 a second instead of 10 a second in his soul bond. It translates. You're about to find out then. Holy, this shit's. She's been. In my opinion, we'll see. I can do explanation, you gotta get ultimate. With Cloak and Dagger, we have an energy increase cost for her ultimate. Her ultimate has also been reduced in delay between each movement. However, as you can see, only 1 damage or healing effect is applied per strip. instead of it overlapping. However, the segments now do 250 a second rather than 220 a second. The duration has been reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, so there's been a lot change around her ultimate. So I'm going to go over real quick one more time. The increase from 3400 to 4000. The segment heals now from 220 a second to 250 a second. The duration has been reduced from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, and you can and her movements, instead of 1 second between each segment move, is now 0.7 seconds, so a little bit harder for mags to catch you, and it no longer overlaps with healing and damage, so you can't kind of just go over the one spot and stand it and be invincible. Doesn't happen anymore. So the vulnerability inflicted on enemies in Terror Cape while you're in cloak form has been increased from 20% to 28%. They're punching me. I can't even see it. I just see myself dying. The energy cross for Invisible Woman's ultimate has now been increased from 4,000 to 4,300. Just another little 300 change here and there. Loki, we have his ultimate ability has been increased in his energy cost from 4,000 again to 4,300. And his mystical missiles have been increased charges from 10 to 12. So his auto attacks now you do 12 attacks instead of 10 before you reload. Last healer is Lunar Snow. So for Lunar Snow, which is nice and easy, her ultimate has been increased by 500 energy cost, so from 4,000 to 4,500. Now, that's probably the biggest change, and I used to see a lot of Luna bans, but I'm hoping that we see her a lot less banned now in high play, and we hopefully can see a lot more Nemours and just see a lot more capture the points being competitive. Team up abilities got changed. First team up ability we have is Luna and Iron Fist. So with her Frozen Chi, the Ice Chi, that has been increased from 50 to 75. The healing it does and the slow effect on enemies has gone up from 20% to 30%. The next team up ability we have is Magic and Psylocke, or Magic and Black Panther. So with Psylocke, when she uses her Rewind, she gains increased health back. So it used to be a 0.5% ratio, now it is a 0.8 when she regains her lost health. So that's a little bit better for diving with Psylocke if you have a Magic on the team. And then we have Black Panther as well. Black Panther, when he uses his Wakandan Master, which is the same thing, he gets his health lost will be reverted to converted to armor, and that will be changed from 0.5 to 0.8 again. So it's just, he gets shields, she gets health, nice and easy, just increase. For the next team up ability, we have Moon Knight and Cloak and Dagger. So when you put this down, it used to do very little except for just keep you invisible until you threw something down or attacked or got hit, and then you were seen. However, now when you put it down, it does in fact heal you for 25 a second, which is not huge, but definitely helps when you are doing flanking maneuvers as Moon Knight, and you need that survivability and you can't have a healer see you. And for the Iron Man change with the team up with Hulk, we are looking at the Gamma Charge dropping down from 220 damage a second to 200 a second. So it is absolutely noticeable. He's been nerfed a little bit with the team up, but still great solo hero, and his buff is a little bit better. And then if we look at Hulk, Hulk is the same with the team up. His health pool has been increased from 100 to 150 when he has the team up back. So for the next team up ability, we have Spider-Man and Venom, or Penny Parker and Venom, the symbiote bond. So with Spider-Man, his symbiote bond has been changed from 4 seconds to 1 second. I did not re-click that ability. It just immediately phased out. Look, let's pop no cooldowns on just so I can show you that again. If I press it, it doesn't last 4 seconds, doesn't last 1 second.
I hate this part.
Only lasts 1 second. That is crazy short. It replaces 50% of the damage reduction effects now with a new invincibility effect at the end of the duration. So you're a little bit tougher, a little bit weaker though. Like, you're stronger in terms of survivability, but you're weaker in terms of the damage output you're going to be able to do in an AoE radius. Most of the time as a Spider-Man, you're only using Symbiote Bond as a way to really clean up the final attack anyways. For half a second you would use it. So if you were doing that, you're not going to see a massive change, but you will see that it doesn't last as long. If you were trying to run through the enemy team, it just doesn't last nearly as long. You're not really able to, you know, force a movement. And then if we have Penny Parker and her symbiote bond, where is it? So then we have Penny.
Spider controlling my suit is small.
But when Penny Parker and Venom are in the same game, same thing, but it's slightly increased. So they've still reduced it from 4 seconds, but it is now 2 seconds. The 50% damage reduction has been replaced with a new invincibility, so we're a little bit tougher going in. We also have the Thing as our new Vanguard, more of an immovable object that is about positioning and knocking up, giving it a lot of CC. And we have the Human Torch as our new Duelist, which is a flyer that's like a shotgun-based positioner that really wants to close in a lot of area and then close the gap and clean up. We also have the team up with Storm. Alright, so for the Storm and Human Torch team up, so when Human Torch uses his Supernova and throws down the Hurricane, you can use your team up ability on the Hurricane to absorb it and immediately start using at its locations. Or you can optionally do it yourself and just press your ult so that you can move around, see how it's going. Oh no, there's no things, and then he goes, oh, let's drop one on, and then he puts one in, boom. That would increase the duration of the Storm ult, the size, and the damage. It is ridiculous. He's bright like a star. Beautiful combo. I think this is our very first ultimate combo that we have as well, so we will be seeing a lot more of these going forward in the future. That is all the changes in patch 1.5, the mid-season change, and I hope that this video has been helpful. I hope that you've learned something, and I really do hope that you would give a like, a comment, and a subscribe. Check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/TrueStormio. I Twitch stream almost every day, and we mix between not only Marvel Rivals, we do other games as well. So come on, stop by, and hope to see you there. Thanks for watching.